So good evening and welcome to the Oxford Stadium for tonight's meeting for our Oxford TV viewers. We have a big one tonight for you, where fourth place Oxford Spires take on the top of the table IPSWICH Witches, which is a revamped match from the one that was rained off back on the 13th of June, where we managed to get to Heat 6 and unfortunately the weather got the better of us then. Very different today, a real drafty day, and we have watering going on, which was something we didn't need on that day. Tractor going around doing last minute preparations. As you can see, the temperature 18.1 degrees C here this evening, but very, very dry and wind. And you can see over in the pits the riders getting prepared. The bikes have already been warmed. They've been warming for the last 15-20 minutes, checking both bikes over, making sure they're ready to go. And then we've got Charles Wright in shot there, just having a few last minute discussions with his mechanic as we move along the line there. Erik RISS with young Jake, his mechanic this evening, and there's the watering going on. The tractor has been going around now for the last hour and a bit, just putting bits on, letting it dry, and then a few more bits on rather than trying to flood it. I like the way they do that. So don't forget, please do contact us. You can see along the bottom there. Let us know how we're getting on. I'm your stand-in commentator for this evening. My name is Scott Mitchell. I'm a speedway lover and do a bit of commentary here and there, so I was obviously very pleased to have the invite this evening to come along in, and let's have a look at the riders who are on show tonight. Rohan TUNGATE at number 1 for the Spires, 13 at home to Leicester, 14 against Sheffield. He'll be looking for some more of that this evening. At number 2, Kemp. He's coming in place of Lewis Kerr in the Spires lineup. It's fair to say he did struggle a little bit on his first meeting on Monday. At number 3, Maciej JANOWSKI. The Polish star has started slowly here at the Oxford Stadium, but this last couple of meetings has really started to find his feet, and that's what the Spires fans are looking for. At number 4, Charles Wright. Doubles up with red car in the championship, and it's been a bit feast or famine here with scores at home. Tonight the fans will be looking for a bit of feast from him. At number 5, Chris Harris, the captain. Entertainment wherever he goes. Massive 5-1 on Monday with TUNGATE in Heat 15 to seal the win against Sheffield. He's always there and thereabouts when the Spires need him. At number 6, Erik RISS. An exciting rider to watch, but injuries, you could say, has hampered his progression in the sport. Oxford are pleased that he put pen to paper here, and I'm sure we're going to see the best of him here for the rest of the season. At number 7, Ashton BOUGHEN. Well, Oxford see a very bright future for this young man, riding in all 3 tiers of British Speedway for the club. Really does show their belief in this young man, and that's exactly what riders need. They need clubs to believe in them, and I'm sure he's going to benefit from that. So we got the Oxford Spires man in the moment. He's great to be interviewed. We love watching him interviewed. It's Peter Schroeck. So Adam Ellis there. Looks in fine fettle, probably having a bit of a banter there with his mechanic Ben Reed. And here we go, here's the IPSWICH Witches lineup. So Scott Nicholls, a cheater in the championship, tonight guest for the opposition. Could this be a masterstroke booking from Richie HAWKINS? At number 2, Dan Thompson, one could say having his best season in British Speedway. He's had a couple of good meetings here in 2024, and he'll be looking for another one for the Witches tonight. At number 3, Danny King, just back from injury. Never any excuses with this guy. He just gets on the track, gets on with the job. That's why he's their captain. Keep an eye out for him. He could be a star man this evening. At number 4, Adam Ellis, former British champion, has a major role to play in this IPSWICH side if they're to bring silverware back to Vauxhall this year. At number 5, Emil SAYFUTDINOV. He is like a rocket. Every track he goes, he does not take time to find himself. He's won many heats already this year in 2024 in his visits. He is a real danger man for the Spires this evening. At number 6, Keynan REW. He turns out again this evening, had a little coming together with Kinski on Monday night at Bellevue. Excluded from that last race, but he's still here, he's fit, and he's ready to ride for the Witches. And at number 7, Jordan Jenkins. Really is an up-and-coming British star. Needs ride, needs track time, and he's going to get some more tonight. And he's one the Witches really do like. And there's our manager, Richie HAWKINS. And has he pulled a masterstroke by getting Scott Nicholls in tonight? Only time will tell. You have to say a team like the Witches, you know, maybe could well struggle to lose somebody like Jason Doyle for the season. How do you replace Jason Doyle? Well, you know, it's one for him tonight. He will come in and do the job. Nicholls there with his Oxford race suit on as well, with the number 5 on his back. I don't think he means anything by that. But yeah, as you can see, the bikes being readied and heading towards the start line. Have a lovely vantage point here at Oxford Stadium for the commentators. We're up above the main stand. You can look out over the town, and here's our Premiership League table and how it currently stands. So you can see there Ipswich at the top with 26 points. They're looking to consolidate. Same amount of wins as the Aces, but the bonus points are in their favour. Sheffield Tigers, who were here on Monday, they're sat there in 3rd place. Oxford Spires, they've ridden a few more than the others, so they're a little bit vulnerable. Leicester Lions there in 5th. So that it just shows how, you know, it's important for the Spires now to pick up wins at home. They've got a run of matches here at home, and they need to really pick them up, because the home matches are vital to staying where you are in the table. There's Rohan TUNGATE right at number 1. Remember, he started life down at Poole as a reserve. Just a reminder that the copyright of the stream tonight is owned by Oxford TV. Any reproduction, sharing, postal or illegal distribution and content without permission will result in your account being blocked and closed. It's really important, if we're able to keep going with these live streams and these clubs funding them, we really need you not to keep showing them anywhere else. Right, that's all the normalties out the way and all the naughtiness out the way. Let's hope that we can get some amazing racing on this evening. There's Drew Kemp riding in his Team Great Big GB Kevlars tonight. Hopefully that gives him a bit of inspiration. And there's Drew Kemp's bike coming across, and Matt Reed, his mechanic, bringing the bike across. I actually brought Matt Reed up this evening. We live in the same local area. There was by point in both of us coming up with 2 different vehicles. Why would both of us want to get stuck on the A34 on the way here this evening? What an absolute mess it was. Found myself trying to go round it out to the country lanes, and that was not a good idea either, because they were all blocked as well. So probably took us a little longer to get here than we should have done. Chris Harris there going and having a word with Peter, the boss. Nice little conversation. Bomber is just absolute entertainment wherever he goes. He's still in my memory. 2018, the pass on Jason Doyle. In that Premiership final, Erik RISS. As I said in my notes there, I do feel this guy is a very fast racer, but he just seems to get injuries at the wrong time. And they're not little ones, they're broken ankles, they're broken legs. It's I gather he's gone back to the long track scene as well and started riding in the world long track stuff as well. So track time is so important for these guys. Their season and their earning potential in a season is so short. If you think it's kind of from April to September, and if you're unlucky and your club hasn't made a knockout cup finals or semi-finals or whatever, your seasons can be really kind of short if you don't make the playoffs. So these guys, you know, points make prizes, and they're desperate to score points. Nobody goes out there to come last, because if you come in last, you're not getting paid. see the riders there, ready, getting lined up to come out on parade. Quite a healthy crowd here this evening. Lots and lots of speedway to be watched here at Oxford Stadium this year. You can see our camera angle from the tapes line up. That's where we'll be watching as the races start. Hopefully nobody be nudging. Hopefully there'll be no reruns. Everybody sits still and behaves. That would be very nice. The referee this evening is Christina TURNBULL. I did see her down going through the track stuff earlier, wandering across. Christina becoming one of our top referees in the country. She's out there doing it for the ladies. Must be strange for Scott Nicholls to be stood on the other side. He's usually on the left-hand side as we look at that, where Drew is. Coming out on the right-hand side. Rohan TUNGATE there, not doing the Macarena, just warming up. And here come our riders for tonight's meeting. Spires head out to the left and the Witches to the right. Looks like there's a few Witches fans have made the journey from Suffolk down on turn 2. All away fans are always welcomed here at the Oxford Stadium. As the Oxford riders go round there. Turns 3 and 4. I was an interested spectator on Eurosport on Monday night. I did enjoy the way that Calvin said about on his track walk that down there on 3 and 4 you have got banking on the inside, but you get 3/4 of the way out, it plateaus off and goes flat, where obviously a meter had been added to the inside to the days when Calvin rode, and it has made it an exciting racetrack. I've seen a few meetings from here on BSN and on a live stream, and we've had some good stuff from here, and we're looking for more of that tonight. At the end of the day, we do have top of the table here. As the Spires approach the line on the back straight. Rapturous applause from the home crowd. Adam Ellis down there giving the track a good dig on the start line, as you can see on our camera. Everybody having a look. It gets ripped a little, but it doesn't get ripped a lot, and I can understand that. The amount of starts that will be on this track this year in comparison to other tracks that only have one team, you can really understand why they're trying to protect the track a little. Ripping it a little so there is a little grip, but not too much. Boughen there in the black hat, Ashton, and Maciej JANOWSKI. Danny King and Chris Harris, no stranger to one another. Going through the grass track days. You see our stadium announcer just having a little chat with them down on centre green. which way round that went. I didn't actually hear. There was a bit echoey up here in the box. I couldn't hear who's chose what. I think Ipswich won the toss, and they've chosen 1 and 3. So it's Ipswich in 1 and 3. As the riders get introduced. Ellis there. And they're at number 5 as we scoot along. Down to Jordan Jenkins there in yellow. So you can hear the fans are being introduced to the Oxford Spires. Rohan TUNGATE, they're at number 1. Magic at number 2, Charles Wright at number 4 there. Sorry about Erik RISS at number 6, and there's Ashton BOUGHEN at the back. Just checked my weather report, and we're due no rain. So important that guys get a little play here. Practice laps are so important. Bomber has been making starts for the last couple of seasons. At the moment, I'd say this season he hasn't been firing out the start like he has the last couple of seasons. But that makes Bomber very interesting to watch. So yeah, the guys just getting their last preparations done to make sure they've got their gearings right, make sure they've got their jetting right. It's a very different evening this evening. The weather makes a big difference to what jet you use in the carburettor on these bikes to let how much fuel go through. Maciej JANOWSKI still having a little dig at the track there on the way off, and this is their only chance to maybe change the gearing, change the sprocket on the back, or they must have they have an impression of what they're going to go with when they get here. And from what I saw on Monday night, I would suggest that you all go on whatever Rohan TUNGATE was running. And you'd think that would be the way to do it, but of course Rohan's body weight is slightly different to a lot of other riders. So that makes a difference on how the bike pulls off the line, and obviously you've got to get a happy medium of how the bike pulls off the line and then how it runs for the next 3 3/4 laps. And it's getting that right, and that's where the experience comes in. I know you talk to some riders and they make a big change. They make a big change and go totally the opposite, and sometimes it works, but you've got to be a brave boy to do that. Just seeing some last minute watering and clutches being cooled there, and obviously the clutch is the way that they tighten up. Some people tighten them up 12 turns, some people tighten them up 12.5 turns. All depends on body weight, depends on the condition of the clutch, depends on the condition of the track, depends what they're feeling on that night with how quick they want that clutch to bite. It's all very important. I know it's a rare one for you Oxford TV fans to have just a single commentator on an evening. That's what we have this evening. So it's me or me, so enjoy. Please feel free to comment and contact us. As you can see, a few changes going on there. Clutch being called for Bomber. As you can see, there's a belt drive system in there under that cover. Belt drive, or you can have chain drive, and like I say, you can just see the last minute watering preparations going on, because this rain is this wind is really drying out the track, so that the water cart won't have been out there probably for half an hour now, and everything that it put on then slowly soaked in, or it's been evaporated off the top. Richie HAWKINS there just having a word with his riders. Scott probably knows how it works here, looking over the fence to seeing what's going on, seeing what's being watered. And where it's being watered, more importantly. These are nervy moments for the riders, waiting for the meeting to get underway. It's all the preparation, all the hype before a meeting. You just want to get out there and get going. See if you're right on your setup, see if you're feeling good. Danny King there, just your few last minute clutch changes. There's Daddy Thompson. He's just gone and having a poke his head over the fence to see what's going on. There's Emil SAYFUTDINOV, looks as cool as a cucumber. Boy, can that man ride. Do you have to feel for him not being in the GPs? He's sorely missed, that's for sure. Just have to say what entertainment the last GP was. Passing, the speed, it's everything you want from speedway racers. Unfortunate for Ty, had a big one. Jack Holder one, always controversial, that one. Was he touched? Did he slide off? Disappointed to be excluded because he's right up there in the championship. Of course, his brother Chris was here on Monday night with Sheffield doing battle. Water truck is off. Headed back to the pond that we have here in the middle to fill the Bowser up. All the drainage system obviously goes straight into the centre green as a runoff, and then gets collected and is used in the Bowser to go back onto the track. Not too many systems like that in the UK on tracks. Most of it is hose pipes, and big ones at that too. The riders are waiting to get underway. Kemp there, you can see running at number 2. A tough opening night. Got himself in good positions, just lacked a little bit of track craft. I think there was a few times gave up a point here and there, and as the weeks go on, he won't do that. He'll know where to ride. His manager will help him there, Peter Schroeck. Shot just with us there for a second. Our start marshal looks ready to go. quite sure what the hold up is here at the moment. Lights are all on nice and early. That's clouded over here. Like I say, no rain due on my Met Office weather app, and here we go. 2 minutes is now on. Our riders are heading to track. So that can all be good news. Christina TURNBULL has fired the 2 minutes on. Riders absolutely raring to go. Don't forget IPSWICH Witches won the toss. Decided to go for 1 and 3. Whether that was advice from Scott Nicholls, who knows? But 1 and 3 it is, or maybe Scotty fancy being inside Rohan TUNGATE. He's out there in gate 4. It can be a distance, but early doors sometimes 4 can be at its best. And the track has just been prepped. Here we go then, heat 1. And the inside in yellow is Dan Thompson. In gate 2 in blue for the Spires is Drew Kemp. In gate 3 in white for the Witches is Scott Nicholls. And in gate 4 in red for the Spires is Rohan TUNGATE. Last minute preparations here as our start marshal call the riders in. They have the advantage of the time clock now, so they don't seem to rush in until that time clock seems to come down. TUNGATE's going to have to keep an eye on this. We're going down to 10 seconds now. He's got to get in there. Right, so here we go. Heat 1, the tapes are up, and away we go. It's a pretty even break. It's a good one on the inside. Dan Thompson, and Nicholls has followed him round the outside. Can Dan Thompson hold on? Is Nicholls going to hang back and wait for him, or is he going to clear off? But it's the IPSWICH Witches on a 5-1. 1 lap in. TUNGATE is now gone round Drew Kemp. He is now chasing after Dan Thompson, trying to use track inside and outside. He's definitely a quicker rider. Is there enough for him to get by? Is he going to make the big lunge up the inside into 3? No, he isn't. He's just on the tip of that dirt. He's making the final cutback. Is he going to get under Thompson? Yes, he has. TUNGATE gets into 2nd, and now he's going to take off after Scott Nicholls. He only has half a lap. I don't think he's going to get there. So as they go over the line, it's white, red, yellow and blue. It's a win for Scott Nicholls. In white, IPSWICH have first blood. It's a 4-2 heat advantage in the favour of the IPSWICH Witches. TUNGATE, a valiant effort there to get up into 2nd. And there's your heat winner, Scott Nicholls. He takes the 3 points for the Witches. In 2nd, Rohan TUNGATE, 2 points for the Spires. In 3rd, Dan Thompson, a good 3rd for him, and Drew Kemp in blue at the back for the Spires. So the Witches take an early lead, 4-2. As we round now, heat number 2, the reserves heat. These can be so important in these matches. And off the inside, in gate 1, we have Erik RISS in red for the Spires. In gate 2, in white, we have Keynan REW for the Witches. Gate 3, in blue, we have Ashton BOUGHEN for the Spires. And in gate 4, in yellow, is Jordan Jenkins for the Witches. Heat 1, 1 and 3 turned out to be very profitable for the Witches. always like to watch and see if Ashton BOUGHEN starts off the same place as Scott Nicholls did, knowing that Nicholls won the race. Is he going to take the same place on the start? Is he going to take the same rut? A little bit of guarding going on here. Important meeting for the Spires. They maintain that 4th place and try and gap Leicester a bit. They've got to win these home meetings. So here we go then. Heat number 2. Our start marshal's ready. The tapes go up and away we go. And it's a good one off the inside from Erik RISS in red. It's got all congested there going up the back straight. But IPSWICH packing 2nd and 3rd. Ashton BOUGHEN at the back, looking to try and make some inroads on Jordan Jenkins. BOUGHEN does that round the inside, but it's RISS out front in red. Now being chased by Keynan REW in white. In yellow in 3rd is Jordan Jenkins, and BOUGHEN still at the back, trying to make inroads into the situation. But early doors, grips all round the inside here on heat 2. BOUGHEN made a little inroad there on Keynan REW. REW made a mistake. BOUGHEN going around the inside there. REW looks over his shoulder. BOUGHEN's still there. That's where the action is for this one. Now BOUGHEN's going around the outside. Oh, he's made it. What a move that is. Keynan REW pushing him over. I got a feeling it's definitely red and white at the front. It was a win for Erik RISS. And it was 2nd place to Keynan REW. And at the back there, it was Jenkins and BOUGHEN. I'm not sure who got that. I'm really not. I tend to think that Jenkins just got it. We're right in line with it, but we're going to have to wait for official confirmation from the referee. We're waiting to hear the result. See from the start there was a good start from RISS off the inside for the Spires. And it looked like BOUGHEN really had got up the inside, but it all got congested there going into turn 2. A good move there from Jenkins to go around the outside of BOUGHEN while he got caught in traffic on the inside. And then it was a case of BOUGHEN chasing, and he tried the inside and tried the inside. Looks like the result is that Jordan Jenkins is finished in 3rd and Ashton BOUGHEN was at the back. So it was a 3-all heat score was the result of heat 2. As we see here coming into the last lap. It's a 3-all heat score. It was. So we now match score after 2 heats is 5 to the Spires and 7 to the Witches. Our riders in line for heat 3. On your inside in white for the Witches is Danny King, and in gate 2 in blue is Charles Wright for the Spires. In gate 3 in yellow is Adam Ellis for the Witches, and in gate 4 is Maciej JANOWSKI in red for the Spires. Taking their time this evening to get into position, finding their ruts and where they want to start. Adam Ellis in yellow, the last one in for the Witches. Choosing a new bit of dirt to start. Our start marshal's ready. Our riders are ready and away we go, and it looks a good one off the inside from Danny King and a good one off a 3 from Adam Ellis. But a chance there coming up the inside. Ellis keeps it on around the outside. A brave move from him. Danny King puts him up the fence. His own rider's got in his way, and that's allowed Charles Wright up the inside in blue and Maciej JANOWSKI up the inside in red. So Ellis has gone from second to last because Danny King must have thought it was an opposition rider coming around the outside, halted Ellis's progress, but that was good for the Spires. The Spires then came through, and now it's just everybody looking over each other's shoulder at the moment. Charles Wright really going for it there in blue. But Danny King having a look over his shoulder because Charles Wright definitely looks the quicker rider here. He goes wide and now trying to make a long straight of the back straight. Goes into turn 3 wide, going out to the dirt, and he's gone round him. He's used that up to, oh, he hasn't quite. There was no room going down to the line. That was tight from Danny King. It was a win for the rider in white. Second was the rider in blue. Third was red, and fourth was yellow. Even points again was the result of heat 3. Something else, that one. Lots of action going on there. As you can see, it's a win for the Witches. Captain Danny King in yellow. In second was Charles Wright in blue. In third was Maciej JANOWSKI in red, and in fourth was Adam Ellis. So your progressive match score after 3 heats, it's 8 to the Spires and 10 to the Witches. Here we can see Charles, there just wasn't enough room. There physically wasn't. He went for a gap and had to shut off because it was only by half a bike. No malice in that. Just didn't leave the room. He must have heard him coming. He'd done that a couple of laps before to his own rider, Adam Ellis, and put Adam from looking a really good second place to the back. As we head into heat 4, you can see the aggregate score here on your screens as well. Ocean's bike, the last one to come out. He's in blue for the Spires. This one's warming up to be some heat. So here we go, line up for heat 4. Off gate 1 in yellow is Jordan Jenkins for the Witches. Gate 2 in blue is Ashton BOUGHEN for the Spires. In gate 3 in white for the Witches is Emil SAYFUDDINOV. And in gate 4 in red is Chris Harris for the Spires. SAYFUDDINOV has only done 6 heats here this season, if you count the abandoned match, and he's won 4 of them. 3 of them, I think. So half his rides he's won here, and a track that he really doesn't know because he hasn't been to, other than those 2 visits. This is going to be a cracker. Takes her up on heat 4 and away we go. SAYFUDDINOV goes straight up for the dirt in white. It ran the outside of Ashton BOUGHEN. It was a good one off the inside from Jordan Jenkins. And now the 2 Witches are out front. And it's the 2 Spires at the back. Harris is now negotiated past BOUGHEN. He's now taking chase to the Witches out front. And as I said at the start, he hasn't had many starts here as SAYFUDDINOV, but he's got a few race wins and he's out front. Jordan Jenkins following him nicely behind, but it's all about the Spires. The Spires here. Harris is now starting to make inroads on Jenkins. Is Jenkins a little bit exposed there? We've got 1 to go. Harris is really winding it on now in red. Going around the outside. Is he going to cut back and make a big straight line and dive bomb him? No, he isn't. He's going to go round deep into turn 4. Oh, he's found a bit of grip, and lovely move from Harris. It's white, red, yellow and blue as they come over the line. It's a win for Emil SAYFUDDINOV. And how hard did Harris work there to get his couple of points? It's a 4-2 heat advantage to the IPSWICH Witches, but you cannot. Chris Harris, he was just something else there. You wonder, with another lap or 2, could he have caught SAYFUDDINOV? Who knows? But here's the confirmation of your heat 4 result. It's a win for Emil SAYFUDINOV for the Witches. It's second place for Chris Harris for the Spires in third. Held on to third, Jordan Jenkins for the Spires, for the Witches, and then at the back was Ashton BOUGHEN for the Spires. It's a 4-2 heat score in favour of the Witches. Taking our match score. Here we see Harris coming around the outside. He just found that. He's just so brave there. It's a great passing spot here at the Oxford Stadium. It's one that they tend to do a lot here, the home side. It's the home side now got to find something here and find a few starts. It's Harris's machine getting some attention. The match score after 4 heats is 10 to the Spires, but 14 to the Witches. And that little batch of 4, it was 4 heats there, and that little group of 4, it's 3 heat wins to the IPSWICH Witches and just 1 to the Spires, which is something that Peter Schroeck will be looking at his riders in the eyes now and saying, come on, we've got to win races. We've got to win races and no last places. We know it's just early doors here. The Spires will find a setup, surely. Probably the track a little slightly different to what they're used to. With it being a different type of day and different temperatures. It's definitely jumper and coat weather here. Here comes the grader. To make a few changes. Grader's not an angle grader to bring the dirt in from the outside. It's a flat grader, and it's a few spikes on the back, so it gives it a little rip up. Spires there are talking about where to ride and a little discussion. This is really good to see. More experienced riders helping out the other guys. Erik RISS there in shot. Heat 1, Heat 2. Where his finger there, you can just see the numbers on the tyre. All the tyres for a meeting like this have a number on and the team name on the tyre. And that's just to make sure that there are no rules that don't get broken, so that no other tyres get used. So the tyre is stamped and marked for this particular meeting. Here we've got the gate stats, and you can see 1 and 3 have been very profitable indeed. 2 heat wins from each. 2 and 4 yet to produce a heat winner. Looks like a real good clean inside the clutch basket there. The clutch plates hung on the handlebars, and so you can see with those clutch plates they go in an order, and that's how they've been put on the handlebars. And that one that's facing us, that's called a carbon clutch plate. So that's one of your grippers. That's the carbon one that grips, and what goes next to that will be a silver plate, which then traps between another carbon. So, and you can see there are 3 carbons there and 3 silver plates there. You have to match them up and then pop them in. So there you go, there's a silver plate you can see in hand, and that one then grips the carbon plate, and that's how the clutch works. So when you pull the lever in, those plates get expanded apart from each other, and then when they drop the clutch and let the clutch go and the clutch goes out, those plates then all basically concertina and jam up together, and that's what gives you the forward drive, that's what makes the back wheel spin, that's what makes the chain go round, and that's how they get the acceleration off the line. There you can see there's a mini depot just up the road from us, and that is a real mini there on the roof. Must have been craned up there. Nothing better to show you wares than to put your equipment on the roof. There is a little flyover actually right next to that, so the cars are sort of halfway up the building as they go up that piece of road, and they'll see the Mini there on the top. All smiles there from the Witches at the moment. Witches manager there, Richie HAWKINS, must be pleased so far with the boys' night's work, but there's nothing won yet. It's only 4 heats. I know some managers like to break the meeting down into like 4 heat blocks, so they want to be in front after this 4 heats, and then they want to be in front after the next 4 heats, so that after the next break, after 8, they can have another look again. And then sometimes I think there's a little gap after heat 11, and then that leaves heats 12, 13, 14 and 15 as that 4 heat block at the end. So it's all about breaking the meeting down, trying to make sure that you win your block of meetings and your block of races. At the moment, if you're starting off a 1 and 3, that looks very advantageous. But in the first 3 heats, 3 of those 1 and 3, gate 1 and 3 went to the Witches, and that advantage then turns round the other way. So in your next block of floor heats, 1 and 3 will be got by 3 times by the Spires. They will get 1 and 3 3 times out of the next 4 races, with the Witches being off of that 2 and 4 that thus far has not been successful. Do riders read stats? Do they watch the stats? Well, I'm not sure that they actually get our stats here from Oxford TV. Chris Louis there, one of the Witches legends, and having a good chat there with Emil. But yeah, I wonder, a lot of riders don't take any notice of the stats. We've seen many GPs of the past where, you know, say a gate 4 has been absolutely hopeless all night, and the guy goes and wins a GP from gate 4, and it takes its only 1 or 2 wins from the whole evening of 23 heats. So these guys know how to manipulate things and make things work. It's their job at the end of the day. This is what brings home the money, to keep the roof above their head. What an entertaining sport it is. I absolutely love it. I cannot believe more people aren't into it. When you think of what the footballers are doing at the moment in the European Championships and what attention they get, and we've won World Team Cups on many occasions at Speedway, and it hardly gets a line in a newspaper. It's a sad thing, really. It's a sad thing. But one good thing at the moment, we are starting to see the riders coming back to British Speedway. The likes of Maciej, SAYFUTDINOV, big names within the sport. The Rohan TUNGATE also, it's great to see them back here in the UK riding. Here we go, heat number 5. Here's your lineup. Maciej JANOWSKI for the Spires on the inside in red. In yellow is Dan Thompson for the Witches in gate 2. In gate 3 is Charles Wright for the Spires in blue, and in gate 4 is the ever young Scott Nicholls in white on this occasion for the Witches. So we've had a track grade. Here we go, heat 5. Takes her up and away we go. And it's a good one from the Spires off a 1 and 3. Going down the back straight round the outside. Nicely done from Charles Wright. Gives it the big one round the outside. Maciej looks over. JANOWSKI there in red with him. It's Nicholls who's going to provide the problems for them. He's really going for it in white. He's got the arrow on the outside of his partner, Dan Thompson, and he's now taking chase on Maciej JANOWSKI. Maciej's looked over the wrong shoulder there. Nicholls is coming hard and high at him. Maciej has gone wide. Nicholls is now going down the inside of him. No, he's not. He's cut back to the outside. This is where all the action is. Charles Wright looking good out front. He's gone and picked up the grip close to the fence. Can Maciej hang on here? He's got a big load of grip going into that corner there off of turn 3, but it's a win and a 5-1 to the Oxford Spires here. It's a win for the rider in blue, Charles Wright. He wins that one. What a win for him. Just what the doctor ordered. Just what the Spires needed. 5-1 heat advantage, and the lads go round to take the applause from the fans. It's what they've been waiting for. Scott Nicholls tried all he knew, but was in vain. And a big roar from the crowd here this evening on that 5-1. Here's your Heat 5 confirmation of the result. It's a win for Charles Wright. In second in red was Maciej JANOWSKI. In third, Scott Nicholls, and in fourth was Dan Thompson. That levels up the scores at 15 apiece after 5 heats. This is where it all went forward. We said on our stats at the break that 1 and 3 were really good, and that's what it proved to be. Maciej was great off the inside there. Dan Thompson nearly got up the inside of him, stayed low and found a load of grip. Nicholls then ran the outside of Dan Thompson to try and take chase and do something about it. But they rode well there, the Spires. This is me from my commentary position. Good evening to you all. Enjoying my time here so far. It's only 5 heats in. Can't believe it's flying along here. Spires now right back in it, 15 apiece. Heat 6. As the riders come to the line. On the inside in white is Emil SAYFUDDINOV for the Witches. In gate 2 in red is Rohan TUNGATE for the Spires. In gate 3 is Keynan REW for the Witches, and in gate 4 Drew Kemp in blue for the Spires. Two little men on the inside, I think, is where we're going to have to keep our eye on in this one. Now SAYFUDDINOV, he won heat 4, didn't he? Over Bomber Harris. TUNGATE trying to find something there in gate 2. He's looked at 2 or 3 little places there, now trying to test the grip by just dropping the clutch. SAYFUDDINOV, he comes in, maybe getting a little bit steamy. Drew Kemp, the last in for the Spires, on the outside in blue. He's got Keynan REW on the inside of him. I think this could be 2 races in one here. Looks to me like TUNGATE went a little early there. And the red lights are on, and I was right. TUNGATE did go a little early. He was rolling at the start. Didn't touch the tapes, but he was moving. He wasn't static. As we see from our shot here, he went a little early. But is that not a good start? He didn't touch the tapes. Frustrating. I suppose the referee will see that, you know, he's had an advantage from being rolling there, and the red flags and the red lights were on immediately from referee Christina TURNBULL. Yeah, that was our referee having a look. Thanks, I wasn't watching my monitor then. The view is so good from out here, up here in the in the crow's nest, I'll call it, of the commentary area. It's a brilliant view of the whole track and the whole stadium here. Really is good stuff. So, we have a restart of Heat 6. On the inside once again in white is SAYFUDDINOV for the Witches. In red is TUNGATE for the Spires in Gate 2. Gate 3 in yellow is Keynan REW for the Witches. And on the outside, the new man here, Kemp in blue for the Spires. SAYFUDDINOV there, so cool and composed. Our roaming cameraman Paul there, he's got the action from the inside of the track, and great shots of what TUNGATE is doing there. TUNGATE knows that he's got to be equal to SAYFUDDINOV going into the first turn. SAYFUDDINOV gets the drive, a little push of TUNGATE, cut back from Keynan REW. Is TUNGATE coming down through between them? No, the gap is squeezed up. SAYFUDDINOV gets there alongside REW. He turns round, looks for his partner. It's TUNGATE all over him in red. TUNGATE really has had some good meetings here in the last few weeks and really does look equal to pace on SAYFUDDINOV at the front. It's all about can Kemp now get around the outside of Keynan REW. He's now trying the inside, Kemp at the back. It really is two races in one here. REW looks to have some good speed. TUNGATE dives in under SAYFUDDINOV, but SAYFUDDINOV is holding the line. He tries it again. He's trying to get in his peripheral vision there of SAYFUDDINOV and get him a bit worried. SAYFUDDINOV is not taking any notice of that. TUNGATE now coming down to the line, but it's SAYFUDDINOV takes it in white. It's white, red, yellow and blue as they come over the line. It's a win and a second win on the evening for SAYFUDDINOV. TUNGATE gets a second place. It's another last place there for the Spires. They're trying to avoid those. Keynan REW, an important point. It's a 4-2 heat advantage to the Witches. SAYFUDDINOV, our race winner. He was the rider in white, wins race 6. In second place, Rohan TUNGATE for the Spires. In third, Keynan REW for the Witches. And at the back, Kemp for the Spires. So the progressive score after 6 heats is 17 to the Spires and 19 to the Witches. Our riders are straight back out and ready to go for Heat 7. Reporting out how important the gate stats were, and that was the one heat of this block of 4 that the Witches have 1 and 3. For the next 2 heats, 1 and 3 go in favour of the Spires, and you feel they have to do something with them. In fact, looking at it, is the next 3 heats are 1 and 3 for the Spires. So here we go then, Heat 7. On the inside in red is Chris Harris, the captain for the Spires in Gate 2. It's Danny King for the Witches, the captain. In Gate 3, Erik RISS for the Spires. And in Gate 4, Adam Ellis in yellow for the Witches. Danny King was winner first time out. Erik RISS there going back, got a little bit of steamy goggles, so he's gone to clear his goggles. The rider in blue. The riders wait there patiently. The countdown clock is now on 30 seconds. Adam Ellis having a real good dig about there. He had a really good start in Heat 3, but if you remember, his cut out by Danny King and only put up the fence by his own rider, and I saw him lose 2 spots. Here we go. Heat 7 is underway. Our start marshal's ready. And away we go from the start. And it's a good one from the Spires here. And Adam Ellis cuts round the inside, the big cut back and switcheroo. He gets there. Bomber goes around the outside of Ellis and now cuts him back off. So that move has now been cancelled out. It's a Rice move run out front for Erik RISS, and behind him, being followed home by his captain and partner, Chris Harris. Ellis can do nothing. It's Danny King at the back, the captain of the Witches. It's definitely the Spires now in the ascendancy. He's turned over his shoulder. He's looking for his partner is Erik RISS, waiting for Harris to come round the outside. RISS is now controlling the situation, looking over his shoulder. He knew he had to go a bit deeper into turn 2 to keep the speed up. He went too tight on 3 and 4 and slowed himself up. But as they come to the line, it's a 5-1 in favour of the Spires. And they're inspired by their captain. He takes the win in red. It's red, blue, yellow and white as they come over the line. 5-1 heat advantage to the Spires, and a timely one at that. Absolutely timely from the Spires. Harris taking the applause there, quite rightly so. So here we go. It's a win for Chris Harris in red for the Spires. He was followed home by his partner Erik RISS in blue. In third in yellow was Adam Ellis. Got right up there in the early take-ins but got caught on the inside and passed around the outside. And at the back in white was Danny King for the Witches. So after heat 7, our progressive match draw is 22 to the Spires, 20 to the Witches. Here we see it again. Watch Ellis on the outside, really doesn't make the start. Gets his head down but decides to make the cut back early. Harris drifted off the line from gate 1 and Ellis passed him up the inside. Could Ellis have gone out a bit further, but Harris goes right round the outside of Ellis, and that was the end of that. It was just a case of the 2 Spires holding on. There's your captain. He's done a fantastic job for his team there as the Spires take the lead in this match. Talking to his teammates up through there. Erik RISS there passing on the information of what he found. Starting off a 3. He headed straight for the dirt, didn't he? And this is when teammates do this, this is what you want to see. This is what the fans want to see. The guy's passing information backwards and forwards. Magic's still not feeling fast enough by the look on his face. Magic had a second time out. Charles Wright for the other 5-1 of the evening. See there, Riss's back wheel with his mechanic out already. And what happens is, as you can see there, they turn the wheel and they can put the sprocket on the opposite side. So that turns the edge of the tyre. So you can just see, if you take a little look at the tyre, the tyres have a front edge and a back edge, and you can just turn those round. Some riders like to do 2 heats on one edge and then turn it around and do 2 heats on another. Other riders like to have a nice fresh edge for their first race and then turn the tyre so they have a fresh edge and a new edge for their second race as well. It's very clever how they turn the tyres. Not too many sports that they do that. And here we go. Here's the gate stats once again. We've had 7 heats, and look how dominant gate 1 and gate 3 are. How important is that going to be coming towards the end of the meeting? We have gone and had a break after 7 heats here. The water track is on. The water truck is on to keep the dust down. Erik RISS there, if we can just stay there on that shot. Erik RISS is taking the bottom of the carburettor off here. That's the nut that holds the bottom of the carburettor. And when that drops out, you can see all the methanol coming out. But there's the jet. Now they're taking the jet out of the carburettor. And that jet that's just come out on the end of that little nozzle, and that's a set of jets he's got there in his left hand. So there'll be different numbered jets with different size holes for the jets. So that will allow different amounts of methanol to go through into the carburettor. The more methanol, the more power. So I'm wondering if Erik feels he was overpowered there, and if he puts a slightly smaller jet in, not quite so much power, doesn't quite then produce the wheel spin and produces more grip. And that's how they get the propulsion forward. I'm not sure I'd advise putting methanol stuff, covered stuff in your mouth, but this is how they change it, and this is how quickly they can change it. So now the jetting is changed. Whether he's gone up or whether he's gone down, I would say most here, from the little bit of knowledge that I have, would start on a 225 jet here. Here we go. Here's the score so far after 7 heats. Rohan TUNGATE with a couple of second places. A win for Charles Wright there. And a win for Chris Harris. And a win for Erik RISS. Erik RISS is on a paid max this evening from reserve at number 6. Here we go with the Witches. Yeah, a win for Scott Nicholls. Hardly surprising. Danny King, he took a win and a bagel. Emil SAYFUTDINOV, he's on a max. So if I look back on the stats for the cancelled meeting, and he won his 2 rides in the cancelled meeting, and now he's won his 2 rides here. So he's on 4 rides on the bounce here at the Oxford Stadium. 4 wins on the bounce in 2 different meetings, even though 1 was cancelled. You see the Witches. Adam Ellis there, cleaning the muck out of his skid lid, having a chat with Paul Hurry there. Guys back there, they are absolutely flat out. I think that's Cameron Heaps there, doing a bit of spannering by the looks of things. Dan Thompson, Danny King, having a little chat there, and there's Jordan Jenkins with them, just checking out what's going on, and the water's being put down first. Well, we've got a short break here. We're going to head to a video, give you something to have a look at other than the tractor. So here comes a short video.
So yeah, here's the lineup for heat number 15. Off the inside is Sam Masters. Next to him in red off gate 2 is Maciej JANOWSKI. Off gate 3 in yellow is Max Frick, and off the outside, Rohan TUNGATE, getting all that dirt off the outside, packing into that rut.
Here we go. Heat 15, 2 points in it. And the 2 Leicester boys, as I said, have made a great start.
There goes Rohan through the middle. Oh no.
They're sticking close together now.
Down the back straight, Rohan's going for the big bomb.
Big bomb on the outside. Sam's got it covered up the inside.
And here goes Rohan.
Here comes Rohan. He's gone under him.
Cut the nose off Sam off and gone wide.
And
Sam's cutting back.
Max is not sure who's there. I think Max has realised who's there now.
JANOWSKI's
coming in strong too.
Sam's just got the extra bit of drive down the outside. And here goes JANOWSKI out wide again. Trying to pull a bit more down.
He got it down on the back wheel there.
Going even wider again.
TUNGATE's there.
Here he goes, here comes Magic.
Yes, he's done it.
The outside.
Done it.
If he keeps it like this, it'll be a win for the Oxford boys.
Yep.
Down the back straight they go. Rohan's seen him.
Frick looking comfortable out front, but a great second and third from the Oxford boys. And a win there for Max for it.
And the boys are going mental in the pits.
Yeah,
Peter Schroeck is loving it.
Loving it. They're second there, Rohan TUNGATE. Great ride there by Maciej JANOWSKI.
And at the back,
Sam Masters. You wouldn't have expected that, would you? But
no.
JANOWSKI's grown in confidence tonight. That's a cracking ride by there.
And hopefully online now they'll say, yeah, we need to keep Magic.
Yeah, they will. Why would you?
Great stuff there. Great commentary from Alan Rossiter and Henry Atkins. Lee Kilby sometimes is in the hot seat here as well. Pleased to be joining you, being part of the commentary team here on Oxford TV. I can't believe I've got my headset on. Alan Rossiter, the legend, could have had this headset on. I'm just a fan. Can't believe I've got my head where Roscoe's put his. I know that sounds wrong. Yeah, we'll come away from that. We'll leave that in case Roscoe's watching, actually. I'll soon know if he's watching. He'll send me a text. But yes, the track prep here means the water goes down and then the tractor comes out after the water and sort of covers the water. It's a great idea to try and keep the moisture in the base. You go and cover it up. Lads very interested in seeing what happens here and how the track is graded, and it looks like Scott's giving SAYFUDINOV a little chat to how Oxford works. Another little meeting. The riders are explaining to manager Peter Schroeck how the track is riding, and I wonder whether that means Peter then relays that to the track team who are out there, so that they then know what the riders are feeling and how it's going. Charles right there in shot. Charles has had a big injury at the start of the year. Worst time for a rider to be injured at the start of the year. Everybody else then gets a sort of month or 6 weeks break on you, where they've all been practicing the gating because they've been racing and you haven't been, and it's, for a rider, it's always very, very difficult to come back from an early season injury, and it can take you to sort of a good middle of the year to try and catch up with the guys. And of course you've got to remember, some of these guys don't just ride in the UK, they ride in other countries as well. They can be riding 3 times a week, 4 times a week, could be in Denmark, could be in Sweden, could be in Poland. The life of a rider now is absolutely, and there you can see me up the vantage point. I am right at the top of the stadium. It is a great vantage point here to see what's going on. And there's the rest of our crew. Rob downstairs. The referee, is Christina going to give us a little wave? No, she's not going to give us a little wave. She obviously can't hear me. But yeah, it is very high up here. But a lovely vantage point. I suppose if I was working for another channel, I could be stuck up in the air in one of these big crane lift things and be having to commentate and look down. But I think those of you that follow Bomber on any sort of social media would know whose bike that is. That is the famous Cruise's bike, number 37 on. Is he going to take and follow in the footsteps of his father? Yeah, he's got his little GoPro type on their handlebars so that he can watch his races with his father back. I saw that he was, I think he was at Leicester at the weekend, having a few laps with his dad. Dad cutting him tight on the GoPro. I'm sure they go home and then watches that. How on earth could he be interested in anything else? Just got Nicholls and Danny King there having a chat. Obviously, a lot of Nicholls' life has been racing for the Witches. Danny King I got to know while he had a couple of seasons at Poole and was a captain at Poole. And what a lovely man. Into his darts as well. He's into his darts, so yeah, he throws a couple of 180s now and again. He's usually texts me and takes a picture of his darts in the board. I never know whether he's put them in or whether he's thrown them. He assures me he throws them, and so I believe him. Mark Seabright there, Jason Doyle's mechanic. Little known fact, Mark and I have known each other since we were about 10 years old. Mark was a great rider in his own right on the grass, many times Southern Centre champion on the grass track. Broke his back twice, I believe, in his racing career, and that saw him hang up the leathers and start using his knowledge as a mechanic and had spanned for many different people. His current one is Jason Doyle, and obviously Jason being out for the season leaves him a little bit out of touch, so he goes round with the Witches and helps out when he can. Funny enough, Maciej also went to school and was in the same classes as my wife, which is yeah, quite a small one. So how small a world is that? When we first went out, me and my wife on one of the dates, I said, this is my friend Mark, and she said, this is my schoolmate Mark. We were in the same class together. I said, how do you know one another? So yes, very small world. Looks like the grading is complete and the tractor is being taken off. That's the transmitter. It goes as they go across the line. That's how we know who goes first. All the transmitters are on the bikes in the same place. Two minutes is on from our... There's Matt Reed. He's spannering for Drew Kemp tonight. And his brother Ben Reed is spannering for Adam Ellis. Speedway families, eh? Speedway families. Matt pushes off Drew Kemp there. So here we go, 7 heats down. Now coming to heat 8. Progressive score after 7 heats, 22 for the Spires, 20 to the Witches. And here we go with heat 8. On the inside in blue is Ashton BOUGHEN for the Spires. In gate 2 in yellow is Jordan Jenkins for the Witches. In gate 3 is Drew Kemp. He's in red for the Spires. And in gate 4 is Dan Thompson in white for the Witches. Dan Thompson, one of the Thompson twins. I'm not going to go into those jokes. Doctor, hold me now. Showing my age. Music from the 80s. Here we go. Those ruts have been on the start, have been filled in with a bit of loose material, so the riders do a bit of gardening, stamp that in, so they get, it has to be sort of like compact, but loose enough to move to allow grip. We'll add a bit of water on it. So here we go then. Heat 8. And up it goes, and off the inside, BOUGHEN makes an absolute flyer. Kemp goes with him in red round the outside. Is it a bit greasy? He's kept it on, and yes he has. He's made it. Is he going to hold on to that and make it a 5-1 in the favour of the Spires? BOUGHEN looks over his shoulder, sees Drew Kemp. Drew Kemp has had to shut off, and coming up the inside is Jordan Jenkins, I think. He goes up the inside of Drew Kemp, who got himself in the wrong place in the track. And at the back now, in white, Dan Thompson's having a good go. And Drew Kemp, can Drew Kemp hold on to that vital third place? BOUGHEN's out front, he showed a clean pair of heels now. He's in blue, this is what the Spires believe in him. He's riding in 3 tiers of British Speedway for Oxford, and he's out front, and that's why. Kemp just holding on there over Dan Thompson. Dan Thompson's trying to come up the inside of Kemp as we come to the line. It's a win for BOUGHEN in blue, yellow, red and white as they come over the line. 4-1 heat advantage in the favour of Spires. Great win for Ashton BOUGHEN there. As you can see, arms aloft in our caption. 3 points for him. Super start from him off of gate 1. Here's the confirmation of the result of heat 8. It's a win for Ashton BOUGHEN for the Spires. In second is Jordan Jenkins for the Witches. In third, valuable third, Drew Kemp for the Spires. And at the back, Dan Thompson, but it wasn't for the lack of trying there. So after 8 heats, our match score is 26 to the Spires, 22 to the Witches. The Spires open up a 4-point lead. minutes is on from Christina TURNBULL. Looking to get this group away, and once again the Spires are off of 1 and 3. Every track now has that countdown clock. We had a restart of a heat like we had earlier. Once it's a false start, you now have a minute to get back to the start. I'd say there's no need for a 2-minute space. So a rule change at the start of the year was a minute. So here we go. We have heat number 9, and on the inside in blue is Charles Wright for the Spires. Gate 2 is that man SAYFUDDINOV, unbeaten this evening. He's in white for the Witches. Gate 3, Maciej JANOWSKI in red for the Spires. And gate 4, Keynan REW in yellow for the Witches. (5-1) the last time out for Maciej and Charles Wright over Scott Nicholls and Dan Thompson. That was in heat 5. Spires fans here will be looking for more of that from them, but you have to be careful of is that man off of gate 2 in white, SAYFUDDINOV. He's won 2 heats here tonight. He won 2 heats in the cancelled meeting when the rain hit after 6 heats. He'll be looking to make it 5 wins in a row here at the Oxford Stadium. Spires have bounced back from being behind early doors. Here we go with heat 9, and away we go. SAYFUDDINOV has made an absolute flyer, gone across the guys on the outside of him, gone out to the dirt. It's been too far round. Too far round. Charles Wright's got there on the inside of him. It's SAYFUDDINOV makes a big dive, and Charles Wright's gone. Oh, Keynan REW had to back that in under Maciej JANOWSKI. Maciej shut the nose off. We've got 2 races in 1 here. SAYFUDDINOV is out wide trying to find it. Now cutting back. Is he going to find it as a straight line? Yes, he does. Now Charles Wright tries to cut back under him on the inside. SAYFUDDINOV's gone way out. He's so close to the fence. Wright nearly makes it underneath him. Now Wright's trying it again, but he's a little bit in no man's land, but he's not being left here, Charles Wright. SAYFUDDINOV is going so wide. Charles is now tighter on the inside, but SAYFUDDINOV really is finding the grip around the outside. The more important thing is that Maciej JANOWSKI's holding on to 3rd place. It's a win for SAYFUDDINOV in white. 2nd was Charles Wright in blue, 3rd was JANOWSKI. It's a 3-all heat score, that's what we remember. A vain effort there from Charles Wright, really gave it a go, and SAYFUDDINOV had to work hard for that win. It's a 3-all heat score as the result of heat number 9. SAYFUDDINOV out front there, quite right in our caption to punch the air. He had to work hard there. Charles Wright made him work hard, he didn't give that up. Here's the confirmation of the heat 9 result. It's a win for Emil SAYFUDDINOV. Had to work hard. Charles Wright, he comes in, picks up a couple of points for the Spires. More importantly, Maciej JANOWSKI picks up that 1 point for the Witches. And at the back was Keynan, for the Spires, but at the back was Keynan REW, picking up nothing for the Witches. Well, these last places going to take their toll. So, we've had 9 heats. The progressive score is 29 to the Spires, 25 to the Witches. Here we go from the start. Watch SAYFUDDINOV. He just nailed it and stayed straight because he lifted, went right up to the fence, and the Spires guys came around the inside. Maciej didn't quite have enough grip there, and then got his nose cut off by SAYFUDDINOV. SAYFUDDINOV tried to go under Charles Wright, but Charles Wright was in the dirt, out under the fence, and then SAYFUDDINOV sees that that's where the dirt is and tries to go out there as well. Charles Wright sees him coming. He got him eventually on a straight line down the inside up the home straight here. Here we go, we head into heat number 10. There's your man in red, Rohan TUNGATE. The other significant thing about heat 9, that was the first win off a gate other than 1 and 3. Gate 2 there from SAYFUDDINOV. But here we go, heat 10. On the inside in blue is Kemp for the Spires. gate 2 in yellow is Adam Ellis for the Witches. In gate 3 in red is Rohan TUNGATE for the Spires. And on the outside is Witches captain in white, Danny King. Aggressive score is 29 to the Spires, 25 to the Witches. All still to play for. These last 6 heats. It's been a really tight meeting so far this evening. Really enjoying this one. Our time clock again. Start Marshall trying to call the riders in. They get under 20 seconds, they go. Danny King dangled himself across from the outside to the inside, I'm watching in gate 4. Up goes the tape and away we go. It's a beauty again. Off the inside. For the rider in blue. And the outside. Yellow. Rider in blue. I don't think that's Drew Kemp. I think that is Ashton BOUGHEN. It is. It's Ashton BOUGHEN. TUNGATE coming up on red. Sorry there, I got caught out. TUNGATE now coming up the inside of Ellis. Ellis gets passed by TUNGATE. The Spires are back in a 5-1 position. That's your race over and done. It's a win for the rider in blue. It's Ashton BOUGHEN out there as a tactical substitute, I think. A reserve change. It's second place for Rohan TUNGATE in red. It's a 5-1 all the same in the favour of the Spires. I do apologise, I missed that change there. That didn't get up to us in the commentary box. It's definitely Ashton BOUGHEN takes the win. 5-1 heat advantage to the Spires, really turning the screw now at the right part of the meeting. Here's the confirmation of your result. Yes, Ashton BOUGHEN, he wins it from the inside gate and shielded home by Rohan TUNGATE. He had a bit of work to do to go by Ellis to get that 2 points. Adam Ellis gets a point there for the Witches and Danny King at the back. What a heat that was from BOUGHEN. 34 points to 26 after 10 heats, and also look at the gap closing on that aggregate score. The Spires are on their way back. Here we go, heat 11. Erik RISS is already round to the line. He's keen as mustard to get going. Paid 6 already this evening, 1 win, followed his teammate home, Chris Harris, in heat 7. Joined at the line by the teammates, and out comes rider yellow. Soon will be down Thompson. Chris has gone back round. He does have a minute and 10 seconds to get here, but here's our riders for heat number 11. On the inside in white for the Witches is Scott Nicholls. Gate 2 is old mate and friend Chris Harris in red from the Spires. Gate 3 in yellow is SAYFUDINOV. And in gate 4 in blue is Erik RISS. So we're seeing a tactical substitute here with SAYFUDINOV being brought in by Richie HAWKINS at the expense of Dan Thompson. Which is off of the favoured gates 1 and 3 here. So You can see why he's done it. Try and close the gap. Now that it's an 8-point lead for the Spires. That goes to take on 11. Just what the doctor ordered for the Witches. They're out front. Nicholls and SAYFUDINOV make lightning starts off of gates 1 and 3. It's all about can Bomber Harris now build up the momentum and build up the speed. He's gone wide and deep. But you can see how far around it is when RISS is just toppling around the inside. Is the dirt getting too wide now? SAYFUDINOV out front, being followed by Nicholls. Nicholls has stayed out there. His home track knowledge from his days riding for the Cheetahs here at Oxford Stadium coming in hand. Erik RISS has now got up the inside of Harris. The inside route is now starting to be as quick as the outside line. We're going to see a couple of lines now as the end of the meeting comes. But as for Heat 11, it's all done and dusted. It's a win for SAYFUDINOV in yellow. It's yellow, white, blue and red as they come over the line. Masterful tactics there from Richie HAWKINS to bring in SAYFUDINOV at that moment. The minute that they went 6 behind. It's a 5-1 heat advantage in favour of the Witches. The scoreline gap now closed to bring the Witches back into the meeting. Here is confirmed result of Heat 11. It's a win for Emil SAYFUDINOV for the Witches. In second was Scott Nicholls, who followed him home. In third was Erik RISS for the Spires. And at the back, unusually, Chris Harris, the captain. So, after Heat 11, the match score is 35 to the Spires, 31 to the Witches, and Witches close back within 4 points. Just commented how close the scores have been getting on aggregate. And as you can see, all the stuff done from 1 and 3 early doors. The guys went out there. We saw Nicholls and SAYFUDINOV talking before this heat in the break. They knew maybe that this was going to happen had the scores gone the right way, and Nicholls looked to be guiding SAYFUDINOV to where to go, and SAYFUDINOV makes it 4 wins out of 4 on the evening. So we stop for a track break for Heat 12. A little more water. Here's our gate stats. As we can see, 1 and 3. 10 wins of our 11 heats so far have come off of 1 and 3. Just the one off of gate 2, and that was Emil SAYFUDINOV in Heat 9. As we go through the Spire scores here, Rohan TUNGATE with a couple of second places and a paid win. Charles Wright, he's got a couple of paid second places and a win. Chris Harris, unfortunate in that last heat. Don't know whether he changed his setup. Erik RISS has been going okay this evening as well. And Ashton BOUGHEN found something, whether he found a setup, but he's got 2 wins in his last 2 rides. So good stuff from the reserve. And there for the Witches, Scott Nicholls. We knew he would go well this evening. Knows the track like the back of his hand. Danny King started the meeting well and just tailed off with his couple of bagels. SAYFUDINOV, well, we come to expect that. 4 wins out of 4. And let's not forget he had 2 wins in the council meetings as well. He's on 6 out of 6. Drew looking a little disheartened there. And his manager saying, come on, son. Don't take anything to heart. Charles right there, cleaning some excess track off of his bike and himself. Make sure the sponsors are all still very good and visible. So you can see a bit of head scratching going on for some riders. Lovely man, it's Maciej JANOWSKI. Lovely, lovely man. That's how they work out what heats they're riding and what helmet colour. So the R is for the red, and the 4 is obviously for what gate number they're on. And all the riders have those. That must be metal boards up at the back, because that looks like a couple of magnets there holding the sheets up, the race sheets. Good stuff from them. Schroeck there, looking at the programme as the heats are coming up. Heat 12. I'm sure Boughen has a programme ride. I'm sure he'll be out again after his 2 heat wins. Once again, we do remind you, please, 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 do not send out any of this content. It is all owned by Oxford TV, and we do not want to shut accounts down. It's vitally important for us as a stream that we keep going to bring viewers from other tracks who can't make it. They can see their team riding away. While we're on a break, we will head to another short video.
14. Inside there is Ashton BOUGHEN. Off gate number 2, we got Ryan Douglas. Gate number 3, we got Maciej JANOWSKI on the outside. We got Craig Cook, reserve switch for both Oxford and the Leicester Lions. Boys getting ready. Pull to the tape. Heat 14.
Oh!
Good start there by Dougie, but here goes Maciej to the dirt. Is he going to pull round?
Craig Cook up the inside here.
Tight there for Maciej.
Magic's going out wide in the dirt. Oh, he's got very close there. He's got himself around Craig Cook. Great ride there by JANOWSKI there. Now he's putting pressure under Douglas.
Good ride there on Maciej, just coming down the back straight. Probably going to go wide now.
Yeah, he's going to go wide now. Maciej certainly shown his confidence is coming now. He's getting his confidence.
Oh, cuts it back tight.
Oh, if he hadn't lifted there, I think he would have had Dougie then.
Dougie's obviously knows he's there.
Yeah, he definitely does know he's there. So here comes Maciej again. Craig Cook sitting comfortably in 3rd, Ashton at the back.
Is he going to go a bit wider?
But Ryan Douglas looking comfortable now.
Maciej going a bit wider, trying to get that extra bit of dirt, but I think Dougie's just done enough to keep him out. There he goes.
Here we go. He's going to have one last dash around the outside. He's having a go. Here he comes. Oh, he's done him.
Tight.
He's done him. I reckon he's done him. What a great ride by JANOWSKI. I said he looked confident. His confidence was getting more and more all night.
Maciej got it.
I said he got it. I said he got it. I thought he got it.
You can hear the fans going, absolutely.
Yeah.
So here we can see team meeting with the Witches there, being kind of led by Scott Nicholls by the looks of things, the guest for the evening. They want to win every meeting, the Witches. They want to stay at the top. They're on top of the table. Whether revising them setups, whether, you know, there's only 4 points in it, there's only one race in this. Well, the lads discussing that the dirt line may be gone a little too high now. It's not an angled grader, so the grader grades flat and just kind of grades it where it is and roughs it a little bit, and that's taking the dirt as it gets thrown off the back wheel wide. Because it's a flat grader, a 90-degree grader with the back wheels, it tends not to bring the dirt back in, although the tractor driver is swerving and going out and coming back into a narrower line. So he's trying to go out wide and pick the dirt up and bring it back onto the surface, but it's got a nice little scraper to rough up as well. So the track preparation, I'm so pleased that it is so good here. So good. I do worry when I go to some tracks and I see these massive great tractors on the track. You don't need big tractors to grade speedway tracks. The smaller, more nimble tractors sometimes are better at doing the job, and you don't get the compaction and you don't get the weight on the track. It allows there to be grip. You don't have hard spots that way either. As you can see there, that just got a little ripper on the back, so it grades with the front 3 or 4 pieces of iron on the grader, and then just rips up on the back, small spikes on the back. Not going in too deep, just enough to create a line, and as you can see, he's just weaved from the inside there back out to the outside. It's a real art, this track grading. It's not easy. Go back in the pits. Just checking his clutch out, right in at number 3. That's been a couple of meetings at number 4. There we go. Clutch plate's going up another half a turn by the looks of it. If you watch his hand, yeah, half a turn. Half a turn. That's so he's trying to get the clutch down to grab tighter. He's trying to ask it to grip quicker and absolutely launch him. And what that means is that Maciej really does have to hold on, because it's going to be more instant, the grip. These machines, 500cc, if you jump on YouTube and have a look back, I'm sure there's a clip somewhere of one of these. I'm feeling it was Jason Crump at Silverstone accelerating on a speedway bike faster than a Formula 1 car accelerates over a few yards. And there's Chris Harris, captain of the Spires. His team get on. Once again, they've had the clutch plates out and we're cleaning them, and now they're going back in, and you have to do opposite. So you start on one side and then you have to do an opposite, and you count the turns. So like I say, some nights you want 11 turns, another nights you want 12 turns, and like Maciej, maybe he's on 12 turns and he gave it another half turn tonight. You can see that outside red carbon, that's the widest one. Riders just want to be able to sit back and concentrate on what they're doing. That young man, Ashton BOUGHEN, he's done some laps around here, hasn't he? For the 3 Oxford British Speedway teams, and they really have, as a club, staked their nail to the mast here and said, right, you know what I mean? We're going to have you. We believe in you. And he looks amazing here tonight. He's taken a couple of rides to get going, but now he's on 2 wins back to back. And here in the Premier League, for a reserve, that is no mean feat. Here we go, we're tyre packing. Here's sponsors of the Oxford Speedway establishment. And the sponsors of the league as well, you can see there. Without these sponsors, Speedway does not happen. So we have to thank them. A vital part of why Speedway are what they are, and the clubs are so important for these sponsors to be part of these clubs. Ellis there for the Witches. Just a couple of points for him. He's having a poor night by his standards. Lovely shot there of Chris Louis pondering. It must be harder watching as a promoter than it ever is waiting to be a rider and go out. It must be a question I'd love to ask him when I next see him. Is it harder? Is it harder being the promoter, trying to make sure the team is right? Much prefer to be a rider. Now, yeah, good stuff again. This, you can see that this has got grass type tyres on and not agricultural type tyres on this tractor. So they're wide and flat. So you can tyre pack with this tractor. So all the movement he's just done, he can then pack it into the surface. So it takes a few laps to move, particularly with the water down underneath as well. You squash it down in, bring the water and the moisture back up. Those of you who've mixed any cement, you know that chopping away at the cement brings the water to the top, and that's exactly what the tractor is doing here. It tyre packs, squeezes the material down onto the water that was put down first, pulls it back up into the material out the track. Great track stuff here from the track staff. at the Oxford Stadium. It's Boughen, he's been the man of the moment, hasn't he, in his last 2 rides. He goes out in heat 12. Long distance shot of the action in the pits. See, everybody's having a little look over the fence. That's his Cameron Hoops there, helping out Keynan REW. Highway to the danger zone. Kenny Loggins is being played around the stadium. I think that sums Speedway up as a sport. I think it is highway to the danger zone. I'm not sure the riders will want to be happy listening to that. Those of us who grew up in the 80s are more than happy to listen to anything like that. From the movie Top Gun, and obviously there was a sequel to that last year, which everybody enjoyed. Or might have been the year before. Time does fly. As does Top Gun. So here we go then. Riders being pushed around for heat 12. We have 4 heats to go in this one. I'll just remind you of the score. It's 35 to the Spires, 31 to the IPSWICH Witches. Big 5-1 just before the break there to bring themselves back into it. So here we go then, our lineup for heat 12. On the inside, Keynan REW in yellow for the Witches. Gate 2 in red, Maciej JANOWSKI for the Spires. Gate 3, Captain Danny King for the Witches. He'll be in white. And in gate 4 in blue will be Ashton BOUGHEN. His 6 points coming from his 2 wins on his last 2 rides. So the favoured gates this occasion going to the Witches. We have 1 and 3. What can they make of him? Boughen right under the fence, trying to find a bit of dirt there. So here we go, heat 12, upgrade and away we go. Boughen's left-handed at the start, but the red light has come on. Referee Christina TURNBULL saw something she didn't like there. So it's all riders back round to the start. This is the thing that I was telling you, that you only get a minute now under a new ruling. Let's see who is moving. Start marshal walks out. Let's see if we can pick it up. It looks like Boughen on the outside actually moved. I don't know whether he will be getting a warning. Yeah, our referee, is he heading his direction? So here we go then for the restart and the lineup. In gate 1 in white is Keynan REW for the Witches. In gate 2 in red is Maciej JANOWSKI. In gate 3 in white is Danny King for the Witches. The captain in gate 4, Ashton BOUGHEN in blue, who was deemed for the Spires, who was deemed to be moving at the start. I have to say it didn't help him. He really did spin up from right under the boards, and I can see now he's getting a second chance at the start. He's not making that mistake twice. He's starting from more central on the start. A young man learning his trade, and you folks here at Oxford TV are watching him in action, learning as he goes. Intelligent rider. So here we go then. Second time of asking at heat 12. Our start marshal moves away. tapes go up, he's rather the way we go, and it looks like the Witches have made a beauty using that 1 and 3 again. Janowski goes wide, Boughen's going up the inside, he's trying to break the Witches. Janowski going round the outside, but it's the IPSWICH Witches out front. It's Danny King, Keynan REW. Looks like Maciej Janowski's finding a bit of speed, he's winding it up, finding some speed, he's going in deep. 3/4 of the way and then right to the fence to try and find some grip. He's still winding it up, it's still the Witches out front. Danny King leads it, Keynan REW in second place. Maciej taking chase, Boughen at the back on this occasion. But it's Maciej trying to make inroads, he's only got a lap to go for the Spires. He's caught up to the back of Keynan REW. He looks a little bit quicker, has he got time? He's got half a lap to get by Keynan REW. It's Danny King out front in white, he's found something this time, and it's the Witches, and it's a 5-1 heat advantage to them. It's white, yellow, red and blue as they come over the line. The fans are silent here at the Oxford Stadium. There's your winner, Danny King. He's had a couple of races off where he didn't look fast enough, but he had the pace, yeah. And he used that gate advantage to his advantage. Here's the confirmation of the Heat 12 result. It's a win for the rider in white, Danny King, for the Spires, for the Witches in second place. In yellow was Keynan REW for the Witches in third, trying everything he knew here. Maciej Janowski for the Spires, and at the back, Ashton BOUGHEN. Bit of a graveyard out there in gate 4 for him. So 12 heats gone, and the score is now 36-all here at the Oxford Stadium. What a meeting we have in prospect. What a 3 heats we have in prospect, should I say. Heat 13s is number 1s, and the number 3s, 5, sorry. These are the heat leaders. This is the race that everybody wants to see. These are the main protagonists on the evening. I love Heat 13, and here we go. Here's your lineup. Rohan TUNGATE off the inside in red for the Spires. In gate 2 in white for the Witches is Scott Nicholls. In gate 3 is Chris Harris in blue for the Spires, and in gate 4 unbeaten Emil SAYFUTDINOV in yellow for the Witches. In a very unfavoured gate 4, SAYFUTDINOV. I predict if he does make a start, he will stay high. I don't think he'll cut across, I think he'll stay high, try and find the grip on the turn on the way out. We know the favoured gates here this evening have been 1 and 3. Is that going to help the Spires? In this 13, they have the advantage. Rohan TUNGATE on the inside. When you know you've got SAYFUTDINOV in the race, you know you've got to make a start, even if he's not on one of the good gates. The classy riders somehow or another turn those gates into something special. We will know shortly in the next few seconds. Our start clock comes down to 0. Heat 13 is about to be underway. It's elbow to elbow, Nicholls and Harris. Harris has made a good one. Oh, Rohan TUNGATE cut Nicholls off. They both drifted high. And the 2 Witches have come underneath. SAYFUTDINOV made the big cutback. And now he's making it work for himself. It's Harris taking chase. TUNGATE backing that in there, trying to get Nicholls. Harris goes wide, Nicholls comes up the inside. Harris bombs Nicholls. This is great racing, ladies and gentlemen, here. Nicholls manages to find that bit of grip under the fence. Harris is not giving up here yet. TUNGATE's now going wide. SAYFUTDINOV is out front and absolutely gone. He got the big cutback. This is a shock. The Spires actually made the start and did what they needed to do. Left the gap on the inside while both went to high line, and it let the Witches through on the inside. This is why the Witches are top come the end of the meeting. They are very, very strong, and it's a win for SAYFUTDINOV. second in yellow. Third is blue, and coming in at the back is red. It's a 5-1 heat advantage in the favour of the Witches. It's just what the Witches boss would have wanted. Richie HAWKINS. Here's SAYFUDDINOV punching the air there in our caption. As a result of heat 13, there's a 5-1 heat advantage in the favour of the Witches. And here's the confirmation of that heat 13 result. It's a win for SAYFUDDINOV in yellow for the Witches. In second, followed on by his teammate Scott Nicholls in white. In third, Chris Harris in blue, not for the lack of trying. Rohan TUNGATE came in at the back. So 13 heats down, and the progressive score of the match is now 37 to the Spires and 41 to the Witches. The Witches take the lead with 2 heats to go. And as you can see, the 2 guys made there. Nicholls got squeezed, and SAYFUDDINOV, well, he must have been so close to going over the white line on the inside. Cuts up the inside, finds a bit of grip there on that avenue, and then never looked to be headed. Nicholls got under Harris there, but because Harris made a slight mistake going into turn 2, there was a bit of grip that he caught there, and then Nicholls stayed wide. His home track knowledge from the championship and the cheaters coming through there. Managed to head Harris. It was a 5-1 from there on in for the Witches. That's why they're top of the table. They just find something at the end of the meeting, and you have to say Scott Nicholls has been an inspired guest for the Witches this evening. We move into heat 14. The home side are on gates 2 and 4. So here we go then, the lineup for heat 14. On the inside in white is Adam for the Witches. Gate 2 in blue is Erik RISS for the Spires. In gate 3 in yellow is Keynan REW for the Witches, and in gate 4 in red is Charles Wright for the Spires. So vital that the home team gets something from this. I feel they need a heat advantage. They don't have an advantage of the gates. So here we go, heat 14, it takes her up and away we go. Ellis makes a good one off the inside, and he stays tight. The rider in blue, Erik RISS, comes up the inside of Ellis. Ellis keeps it pinned on going down into turn 3. He now drifts out to the dirt. He's been watching everybody do it. RISS is still there. The Witches on a 4-2 here. REW is right out in the dirt on the outside. It's nearly too far away. Oh, we've got a tumble there. Keynan REW backed it in to turn 3, and avoiding action was taken there by Charles Wright. He did exceedingly well to avoid Keynan REW. I would imagine REW will be the cause of the stoppage. The rider, obviously it's all stopped in the interest of safety. Charles Wright did exceedingly well to avoid Keynan REW. REW still down on the track, and Charles Wright's bike is being absolutely carried off. See Charles Wright's bike a little bit bent and twisted. He was so close. How he managed to avoid ROWE, or did he touch ROWE? I'm not sure. ROWE's got up. I think he should go and thank Charles Wright there, and here we go. Ellis was out front, minding his own business, and RISS is trying to get under Ellis. This was good stuff from him. ROWE was on the outside, absolutely going for it. Gets down the inside, goes into turn 3, and he just loses it. Yeah, drops it, and Charles Wright did extremely well to avoid him. Had to straighten up. ROWE holding his elbow there, but yeah, he knew he was going round. You could see him looking back, sort of like with the whites of his eyes. It must have been like dinner plates looking at Charles Wright, hoping that he didn't get hit. Medical team there, ready to go and look at Keynan REW should he need it. Doctors will just check. He's okay. I don't know whether the heat has been awarded or whether we will rerun. Just having a chat with Karen Heaps there. But medical guys are just checking in. They're taking, you can see the grimace on his face. Hit the inside of his arm, I think. There's the back protection you see the riders wear underneath the Kevlars. Just lifting up the undersuit. See the team wading in there on Charles Wright's bike, trying to help him out. I think a new set of bars are going on there by the look of it, trying to get the grips off. See, that's the clutch stuff coming off. You can see Rohan TUNGATE in there. Ashton BOUGHEN trying to help the teammate out. Obviously all dirty up and around the clutch. Lots needed to be done. Don't know whether the wheel moved and kinked in the back, or whether the fact that they're trying to redo all the work on that bike. He really wants that same bike out again. The frame obviously isn't twisted. Charles is there having a good look. A couple of mechanics there now working on the back end of the bike. Lots of work going on. Yeah, taking the bars off of one bike to come over to the other. But the annoying thing for Charles is that really wasn't his fault. He was just taking avoiding action to make sure he didn't run over a fellow rider, and he's ended up with an expense of a new set of bars at the worst. TUNGATE there has that set of bars off. Charles orchestrating a little bit of stuff there, so the new bars are on. The yokes are sat, they sit in the top of the forks there. There's two pins or bolts that go down through, so they've taken the yoke off and taken the whole, rather than taking just the nuts off the bars, because obviously there's 4 nuts to hold the bars onto the yoke and only 2 nuts to hold the yoke onto the bike. So it's easier to take the 2 bolts off of the handlebars and take the whole yoke off, and then take the throttle arm off and taking the clutch cable off, and they will stay there loose on their cables. And then you come with a new set of bars, drop the bars into the yokes. They will all be set up the way that Charles wants them on his second bike, so the yoke shouldn't need moving, and the bars shouldn't need moving. So they will do the yokes up, put the throttle cable and the throttle side on, put the clutch side back on, Obviously all the grips are already and still on. You can see Charles's bike there, his spare bike with no bars on whatsoever. Magic now coming in and plopping in a bit of methanol to make sure he can get through. I'm sure our referee Christina TURNBULL will be watching this and feeling for Charles a bit. That wasn't his fault, and giving him the time he needs to be able to come back out for the restart of this heat 14. Can confirm Keynan REW is excluded and will be excluded from the rerun. I suppose Alan Ellis would be the most disappointed there. He'd made the start and gone for the first time this evening. He struggled a little bit this evening. That's Ellis for the Witches. I said at the top of the show that likes of Ellis with missing Doyle going to have to step up as guests come in or have these rider replacement rides. Starting the mic and just checking everything. It's all in line and ready to roll. RISS in blue in this one. He's all his stuff done. Now checking the front wheel to check it straight. There's no issues, and there we go. There is the yokes missing from Charles Wright's spare bike. Quite clearly wants to go out on this one. That's why they're absolutely working hard on the bike. I know these pictures, probably without any sound, but these pictures are probably being beamed down to our referee's box, so referee Christina TURNBULL will be able to see what work is going on and how far on Charles is with getting this bike and this team getting it back ready. I think there is definitely, I'm being informed, definitely we have a screen down in the referee's box, so there we go. She can see that it's all complete and the 2 minutes has now gone on. Sorry for that pause there, I grabbed a mouthful of drink. So as we go into heat 14, it's a rerun. Comes Charles Wright. Downside with white Kevlars, you can always tell what sort of night a rider has had. That's the Spires Kevlars. If they're all plastered up the front, he's been at the back. If the back side is all dirty and you can hardly see the number, he's been on the floor. There we go with a minute to go then. Charles Wright pulls into the gate. So, in gate 1 in white for the Witches, the sole rider for them is Adam Ellis. Gate 2 is Erik RISS in blue for the Spires. And gate 4 in red is Charles Wright for the Spires. And obviously, gate 3 is empty from the excluded Keynan REW. Seems to be having a bit of a week of it in Heat 14's Keynan REW. I think there was an incident up at Bellevue on Monday involving him in Heat 14. So here we go then, the restart of Heat 14 is underway, and Ellis looks to have made a good one off of that gate 1 again. He stayed tight last time out on the one, and he stayed tight again, but he's just drifted up the line. RISS is going to go for it up the inside. Ellis shuts the door, but drifts wide in doing so and can't hold the corner, but he finds the dirt on the outside. RISS is still there, using the dirt on the inside. Ellis is caught in no man's land, now got a big bit of grip around the outside, and Riss has now gone under him. Ellis is still persistent with the outside line, try and get round Riss. It looks too far, but let's go, Charles Wright. He's now coming in on Ellis. You can throw a blanket over these three, a really good race. Wright's gone up the inside of Ellis. Ellis got caught in no man's land there. You either got to be wide or you've got to be tight, and he was caught in no man's land, and the Spires go past him. Spires are on a 5-1. Riss is looking good out front. Ellis is now going for the big one round the outside, but it's too far out now. And it looks like the Spires are coming home for a 5-1. And that'll send the crowd bananas here. It's a win for the rider in blue, Erik RISS. Followed home by his teammate. And he'll get a paid win for that as well. So hopefully that'll pay for a new set of bars on his bike from the incident. So here come the Spires down the back straight. Super stuff, a win for Erik RISS. As our confirmation of the Heat 14 result comes up. It's a win for Erik RISS in blue for the Spires. Followed home by his partner Charles Wright. He had to work hard there to get by Ellis in red, especially after being on the floor just moments ago. In third, Adam Ellis in white for the Witches. And of course Keynan REW excluded for his part in the incident. So, Heat 14. That score after 14 heats is 42 to the Witches, 42 to the Spires. And here we go. Ellis makes it off the inside, then just drifts off and gives Erik RISS a little sniff up the inside, and that was all he needed. Ellis had to go in so hard, but come in tight. He couldn't hold that momentum and went really wide. That allowed RISS to come up the inside and have a second chew at him. Ellis went out there, had a big lift, and that slowed his forward momentum because his front wheel came up. RISS has then got the position. Ellis is then not quite far enough out there. He then tries to defend it from Charles Wright. But once again here, Ellis gets mid-track. He followed RISS, and RISS was just half a bike wider, and that left a gap for Charles Wright to come up the inside and grab that grip off of turn 2. Still grabbed it again off of turn 4. And once Ellis was past there, he was back out there, and the dirt was too far out. And the Spires bring that an inspired 5-1 home to take us into a last heat decider. You can see what that meant to Erik RISS there in blue. Big head shake. Second win on the evening for him. And here are the gate stats. 6 from gate 1 wins, 2 from gate 2 now, 5 from gate 3. Just the 1 from gate 1. And that in points means, here we go, Rohan TUNGATE, unfortunate not to score in Heat 13. It's been pretty consistent till then. Charles Wright, even though he's been on the floor, 9+1 for him. He's ridden well tonight. And Erik RISS at reserve. Reserve's picking up 9+1. That's what you need at home to win matches. Ashton BOUGHEN, his 2 wins there, absolutely superb from him at reserve as well tonight. Scott Nicholls is always an inspired guest. 8+2, he's paid. Danny King has picked up a couple of wins from his 4 rides. SAYFUDINOV, he's got 5 wins on a 15-point. Can he do an 18-point max here? You can't not see him. We've got a beautiful sky out there, as you can see those cranes in the distance. Look at that beautiful sunset on the clouds. So the 2 team managers are getting together, and we will be able to tell you shortly who will be our Heat 15 riders. So they're trying to work out who. Sometimes you get a clue with what's going on here. Erik RISS once again playing with his jetting. You can see we saw him do this earlier. Whether he's changing the jetting back or changing it again, I'm unsure. But whatever he's doing, he's making a change to his bike. Maciej JANOWSKI's mechanic helping out there. Well, there's a good clue. And who's going out in white for the Witches? It looks like Scott Nicholls. Looks like in blue for the Spires will be Rohan TUNGATE. Erik RISS looks to be, I'm hearing, going off of gate 1 in red because the Spires have the choice in heat 15. We saw from our gate stats which two are doing the business, and I'd imagine it's going to be Scott Nicholls definitely, and I would say SAYFUDDINOV surely off of yellow. So looks like it's going to be RISS off of 1, TUNGATE off of 3. I would say Nicholls off of 2. SAYFUDDINOV off of 4. So, all to play for here. You want the points for a home win here to Oxford. There'll be other teams up and down the league. Leicester particularly be watching the result of this one. Keeping an eye on this one. The Spires are in the Lions' sights in the league table. We saw from Peter Schroeck on Monday, we've got to win our home meetings. TUNGATE's mechanic out there with him on the start line. So here we go then. In gate 1 for the Spires is Erik RISS in red. He won last time out just a heat ago. Scott Nicholls in white for the Witches in gate 2. In gate 3 is Rohan TUNGATE. He's in blue for the Spires. In gate 4 is SAYFUDDINOV in yellow for the Witches. There's our score. The aggregate, the bonus points settled on aggregate. That's gone the way of the Witches. But on the evening, Spires desperately needed to win this meeting. We'll also send a little wave out to the rest of the league. If they can beat the top of the league here at home. We've seen some fantastic action tonight if you've tuned in with us on Oxford TV. We have one more to go for you. This one I'm expecting to be an absolute ripper. It could all be on this first lap. These are the 4 quickest riders on the night. It's heat 15. Our start mark is ready and up go the takes. There's a beauty off the inside from RISS. He stayed tight, stopping SAYFUDDINOV doing the big cutback. Rohan TUNGATE comes up the inside of Nicholls. Oh, it's going to be trouble there. Nicholls is down, TUNGATE is down. It's a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Nicholls not very happy with TUNGATE coming up the inside. There's a few words being exchanged. Nicholls, I think, tried to drop it on TUNGATE. I think TUNGATE, they're not happy boys there. They're not happy boys. Jake Burrett, the mechanic, comes in. I think Nicholls tried to close the door on him, and TUNGATE was kind of already there. We've got something for our referee to sort out here. Where is this going to go? I do not know. The meeting could all depend on this decision. Here we go. RISS is out front, TUNGATE's behind. It's just Nicholls and TUNGATE going for the same spot. Nicholls was trying to avoid SAYFUDDINOV on the outside and come inside him. TUNGATE was making a dive up the inside, and it's just one of those racing incidents where they got there together. Nicholls seemed to not be happy with that. He thinks he got bailed there, and he will feel he got bailed there. hurry there. Having a little word. Here we'll see it again, and I actually question whether SAYFUDDINOV went over the white line there, because on that shot the white line was moving on the inside. Yeah, Nicholls is trying to drop it on the top of Tungate, and Tungate was there at the same time. They were pretty level. I'm not sure the way this is going to go. Cheers are going around the stadium. It looks and sounds to me like it's Nicholls that's been excluded as a cause of the stoppage. He cannot believe it. He'll be on to the referee right now. Richie HAWKINS is already in there. The whole meeting could depend on this. It really was both going for the same spot of track. What a difficult decision to make. I think we can see that HAWKINS very animated here. I think that's the end of that phone anyway. That seems to have going to be pretty second hand from now on. Nicholls absolutely aggrieved. Chris Louis cannot understand it. It's one of those. It really is 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. And did he turn in on him? Did the referee think that he turned in on Rowan? Rowan was already there. That's what I think. See it again, and watching on the inside here, I was interested to see if SAYFUDDINOV went over the white line. Wrist stays tight. SAYFUDDINOV, it was only, oh yeah, no, he didn't go over the white line. But here you can see Rohan Tungate is level with him. He's level on the way in. Right at the last moment, he's level. Whether it was in Nicholls' periphery vision, I'm not sure. I'm sure the Witches fans will feel that Rowan's dived in under there and hit Nicholls, and the Spires fans will feel that Nicholls turned into Rowan, who was already there. A really difficult one, and you can see the way that Nicholls has got up. He feels he's been collected. And asking Rowan why he did it. Get mechanics in there separating them. This decision's been made. I've never known referees change decisions at this stage in the game. So we are looking to 3-rider heat 15, and controversy on the night. It's down to SAYFUDDINOV here. .42 is the score. I'm wondering if this goes to a super heat. Should we end up 45-45 here? So here we go then, the rerun of heat 15. On the inside for the Spires is Erik RISS. He made a good start last time out in red. No rider in gate 2. In gate 3 in blue is Rohan Tungate, involved in the incident there, and gate 4 is Emil SAYFUTDINOV for the Witches. All the pressure on him now. He's on the worst gate statistically of the evening. He needed to win this race. Magically entertaining meeting this has been, and I did say before the start, the original start of heat 15, this evening wasn't over, and it sure as hell wasn't. Countdown clock is down under 30 seconds. The riders can keep their eye on that. Tungate, I'm looking from my commentary position here, looking to start on a fresh piece of dirt, not starting in a rut. Riss has dropped into the rut he was in earlier. Here we go then, heat 15. And away we go. The two Spires are out front. SAYFUDDINOV trying a different tack this time round. He's now coming up the inside and splits them. Now goes wide down into turn 4. Has they got enough? SAYFUDDINOV's gone round the pair of them. SAYFUDDINOV has gone round the pair of them. Super move from SAYFUDDINOV. Leaving the Spires in his wake. The Spires made the initial start. But SAYFUDDINOV absolutely flew into turn 3. The Spires take chase, but it looks like all in vain, barring mechanical problems for SAYFUDDINOV. You feel this is a 3 each. He's now leaving the two Spires. As they come into the closing laps, it's a win for SAYFUDDINOV. His 6th win of the evening in yellow. In blue is Rohan TUNGATE. Red at the back is Erik RISS. So, it looks like a super heat to decide the win. We have a 16th heat here tonight. I don't think we have to have too many guesses who will be coming out in this one. So here is the result of heat 15, confirmation, a win for Emil SAYFUDDINOV in yellow from gate 4. In second place, Rohan TUNGATE in blue for the Spires from gate 3, and in third was Erik RISS from gate 1 for the Spires. So our match score after 15 heats, you can't separate them, it's 45 apiece. We have a super heat. Here we go, you see Emil cut back on the first start, but he cuts halfway back here. Bit of lift on the inside, he's waiting for his partner there, RISS. But he didn't realise it was SAYFUDDINOV coming. He thought he was leaving space for his partner, Rohan TUNGATE, to come around the outside. But it was the Witches superstar, Emil SAYFUDDINOV, and he split them going into turn 3. And then went around the outside of RISS because he was left a little bit exposed on the inside of turn 4, trying to do the right thing by his partner. They're going now through, looking through everybody's tyres here, seeing who's got the best tyres left in the pits. There's one coming out of that bike there, going into this bike here. Discussions about what's going on there. Looks like a tyre coming out. Going into Magic's bike. Is Magic coming in the super heat? Sprockets going on. Frantic movement there in the paddock. It does look like Magic's coming out. Or is somebody using Magic's bike? Looks like more jet changing. Yep, more jets being changed, this time on Magic's bike. Whether they've been chatting between themselves and saying this is what I've been running and who's had the most success this evening. This is when the team really gets together and see how things work. Coin toss going on there between the two managers. been relayed yet who's going where and who's going out of 1 and 3. I thought I lip read there that Richie HAWKINS said 1 and 3. If it has, it could be the role reversal of heat 15. Find the Witches on the good gates. Tense and nervous times here. SAYFUDDINOV is definitely coming out for his 7th ride of the evening. Is he effectively going to have 21 points? Can he win again? I'm hearing that the Witches, I was right. I did see Richie HAWKINS say 1 and 3, so it looks like Scott Nicholls is coming out in white. It looks like Emil SAYFUDDINOV is coming out in yellow. And yes, confirmation that the Witches have chosen 1 and 3. I'm hearing over the tannoy here at the stadium. Maciej JANOWSKI coming out for the superheat in red. And Chris Harris coming out. Wow, a total change of events here. A few boos going around the place for Scott Nicholls there as he's announced on the inside gate in white. I'm not sure whether they were booing that he had the inside gate or they were just booing Scott Nicholls. I'm sure that they'll be pleased to still be in the meeting here, the Witches. SAYFUDDINOV showed his class there in heat 15. Say it has gone definitely silent here at the Oxford Stadium. It's really tense. Fans know which way the gates have been going. And that's why they feared that coin toss going in the way of the Witches. The Spires will be hoping that Maciej can make a start here and Bomber can work his way up with him. You know how this works, the points are slightly different. Here we go, here's the lineup for our superheat. On the inside in white, Scott Nicholls for the Witches. Gate 2 in a roll change is red is Maciej JANOWSKI for the Spires. Gate 3 in yellow is Emil SAYFUDDINOV for the Witches. He's unbeaten tonight. And in gate 4 in blue is Chris Harris, the hard charger. So, super heat. Will it be super for the Spires? Will it be super for the Witches? Away we go. Maciej's made a good one, but it's the two guys that Witches have got away from 1 and 3, and they're away, and they will shield each other now. JANOWSKI goes hard into turn 3, then cuts back under and making inroads on Nicholls. Nicholls is staying tight, throwing it in. It's front wheel sideways, but it's SAYFUDDINOV. He's out front. He's already got 6 wins on this track this evening. He's going to make it 7 by the looks of things, bar mechanical failure. Maciej taking an inside run on Nicholls, making inroads. Oh, Nicholls cuts him off, going into turn 3 and stays low. Maciej looks a lot quicker than Nicholls this time round. Can he get him? It's all about Harris needing to get up as well, but we're coming round to the line now. And Nicholls takes second as well. It's a win for SAYFUDINOV out front in yellow. It's a 4 point, it's a max for the Witches. So gut-wrenching for the Spires and the Spires fans. The Witches take the plaudits on the night. They take the points home with them. What a super meeting this was here at the Oxford Stadium. Super entertainment. But the league leaders take the points home for the win. They also go with the bonus point as well. Such a hard charging evening. Here's the confirmation of the superheat result. It was a win for SAYFUDINOV. Second was Scott Nicholls. Third was Maciej JANOWSKI, and Chris Harris comes in at the back. A 21 point max, and now you can see SAYFUDINOV getting the bumps there. Here was the final score. 45-45 after the regulation 15 heats. It went down to the super heat where the IPSWICH Witches took the spoils, and here's the final aggregate score. The IPSWICH Witches took the aggregate point as well. 82 to the Spires and 98 to the Witches. So here's our scores on the doors for the evening. 8+1 for Tungate. Just the one for Drew Kemp from his 3 rides. He's got some soul searching to do. Maciej JANOWSKI was out there trying everything he knew. Charles Wright, superb 9+1 for him. Chris Harris, 6 for him. Wasn't quite to his liking this evening. Erik RISS from reserve, 10+2. Super effort from him, and once again, 6 from Ashton BOUGHEN, the young man who is learning the Oxford way. And for the Witches, Scott Nicholls, 8+2. He always gives everything he has when he's riding. Dan Thompson, same as Drew Kemp, 1 from his 3 rides. Danny King mustered up a couple of wins, the captain for the Witches. Adam Ellis, 3 from 4 rides. And there's where all the damage was done. It was that man SAYFUDINOV. 18 points from 6 rides, a max. Keynan REW chipped in well with 5+1. He rode hard all evening. And Jordan Jenkins, 4+1. He could feel a little hard done by for not getting another ride. But there we go, folks. That is it. We're all done here. The final score was 45-45. Big thanks to our Oxford TV crew. Haywood on main camera, roaming camera Paul Hague, commentator some fella called Scott, producer and director Andy Hague, and all the rider images are Taylor Lanning. Thanks very much for joining us. You can join Oxford TV again soon. We'd love to have you back. It's goodbye for now.